All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream. And in this one, to start the week, I kind of wanted to set the stage and talk a little bit about Ukraine, Russia, what's going on with crypto sanctions, crypto regulations, and all of those things that are macroeconomic factors that are impacting our markets today. So, welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday to you. And if you could just smash the like button, subscribe, and we're going to jump in and get started. I've pulled up a bunch of different articles that I kind of want to dive into a little bit here this morning and talk not only about crypto sanctions, but how crypto is actually positively impacting people in Ukraine through donations. I'm going to show you some ways that you can help as well if you want to donate some crypto to Ukraine as their civilians there continue to fight each and every day to stay alive. And it's really serious. I was watching some videos last night, and I know we talk about cryptocurrency all the time on the channel because, well, I mean, that's what we're carved out to do. But there are bigger things going on right now in our world. So just keep that in mind. And a lot of ways that you can help. One of those ways is donating crypto. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that here in this video. So what's up, Mark? How we doing? What's up, Alan? How we doing? Boca, good morning. Sub-Zero, how we doing? Guys, if you could, smash the like button, subscribe. Let's get some more people hanging out with us here. And with that being said, I'm going to jump into this particular article. Crypto users answer Ukraine's call for help by donating millions. This is just a few days ago. This was put out there. As the international community rallies around Ukraine and Russia invasion, cryptocurrency users are also chipping in. According to blockchain analysis from Elliptic, nearly $55 million in crypto assets have been donated as of this writing, either directly to the Ukrainian government or to an NGO called Come Back Alive that supports the Ukrainian military. So keep this in mind. If you're someone who out there who wants to donate via crypto, there are avenues for you to do so. Elliptic chief scientist Tom Robinson told AP News, most donations so far have been in Bitcoin and Ethereum. However, people are also sending NFTs to the Ukrainian government. Ukrainian government's Ethereum account. Ukraine Vice Prime Minister has praised cryptocurrency donations and even directly called upon Elon and Dogecoin creator Shibatoshi Nakamoto to aid in the effort. And here it is right here. Dogecoin exceeded Russian ruble in value. We start to accept donations in meme coins. So that means Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, Floki, anything of the sorts can really help. And there's the official wallet right there that is coming right from the Prime Minister. So the Ukrainian government tweeted its plea for cryptocurrency donations last week. This was coming on March 1st, recognizing Ethereum co-founder Gavin Wood's large donation as well. It says here, Gavin Wood donated $5 million of Polkadot as promised publicly. Thank you for all of us here in Ukraine working for a peaceful future. So I thought that was pretty neat. I wanted to just start with that and show you how you can also give back to Ukrainians right now via cryptocurrency. And we're going to branch out and talk a little bit more about how this is impacting the global markets and what exactly is going on in terms of crypto regulation. Of course, that's been put on the back burner here in the United States right around the time that President Biden was supposed to talk about crypto regulations. Russia invaded Ukraine, right? Nobody saw that coming. And so now we've kind of gone quiet in terms of crypto regulation. And we haven't really heard much. We're going to do some digging and see if I missed something out on the aggregator, but I didn't find anything here this morning as well talking about crypto regulation. But it says Binance Coinbase explain why cryptocurrency won't help Russia evade sanctions. So for those of you not following some of the sanctions that are coming down from Russia, huge corporations are shutting off business to Russia. Visa, MasterCard, Microsoft, BMW, huge companies are shutting off business with Russia, imports and exports of the like. So here's some CEOs of Binance and Coinbase and what they're saying as it relates to crypto being not useful at evading sanctions. So since Russia began its invasion of Ukraine, governments worldwide have raised concerns about cryptocurrency and how they could be used to circumvent sanctions placed by Western nations. Now, the CEOs of two huge exchanges, of course, CZ from Binance said, currently the media and politicians are spending a lot of effort and focus on crypto and sanctions. The truth is, crypto is too small for Russia. And I actually did a video on this exactly what he said yesterday in it. In fact, maybe I'll even pull it up here in a minute and just play that video a little bit and what CZ said as it relates to sanctions, because I thought it was pretty interesting. But it says here, if we look at crypto adoption today, actually, here's the exact quote I wanted to pull up. If we look at crypto adoption today, there's probably about 3% of the global population with some kind of crypto exposure. It's actually closer to like 4%, i.e. owning some crypto. Of those, most only have a small percentage of their net worth in crypto, less than 10% on average. So there's probably only less than 0.3% of the global net worth in crypto today. This percentage applies equally to Russia. And the Binance CEO says another reason Russia would not want to use crypto is that it's too traceable. And I think that's another common misconception about crypto, that, it's used for all this money laundering and it's used for all this illegal activity. Well, here's the thing. Crypto is way more traceable than cash. And we don't talk about cash like that, right? And cash is the best way to launder money. If you're going to be a bad actor, it's cash, right? That's the most untraceable asset. So everything is stored on the blockchain regardless, whatever transaction it may be. So it's really kind of a moot point when you hear this argument being made. But he says, and governments around the world are already very adept at tracking it. So we're getting better and better with tracking cryptocurrency as it becomes more regulated, right? Furthermore, Zhao said using privacy-focused cryptos such as Monero, which is a privacy coin, would not work either because the market cap of XMR is 3 billion compared with Russia's GDP of 1.5 trillion. So the market cap's just not big enough. Now, citing that every crypto transaction can be scrutinized by anyone, the Binance CEO stressed that crypto assets are not an effective tool for illicit activities, something I just reiterated there a moment ago. And this is Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong. He shares something similar here, tweeted Friday, "We don't think there's a high risk of Russian oligarchs using crypto to avoid sanctions. Because it is an open ledger, trying to sneak lots of money through crypto would be more traceable than using US dollars, cash, art, gold, or other assets." And again, Brian Armstrong talking about how this argument is kind of a moot point. And this is something you hear about cryptocurrency, especially early on. Maybe not as much now, but it's only for drug dealers and bad actors, and that's just it's not a good argument, right? Because it's way more traceable than cash. Meanwhile, the G7 countries, the European Union, and several other nations worldwide are taking measures to prevent Russia from using crypto to evade sanctions. The U.S. Treasury Department also issued a report last year stating that crypto reduces the efficacy of U.S. sanctions. The department is currently monitoring Russian efforts to evade sanctions using cryptocurrency. So a lot has been said around this topic. I thought this article from Bitcoin.com really consolidated a lot of the good information. And basically, people who are big in the crypto industry are not as worried as the popular press is about, crypto being a way that Russia could evade sanctions. Crypto is just not that big in the grand scheme of things, right? When you think about the GDP of Russia being 1.5 trillion, we're not there yet with cryptocurrency. The whole global crypto market cap is 1.75 trillion, right now. So we're just not there yet where Russia can really utilize these to evade sanctions. All right, there's another article out here too, and this is from NBC News, and this is talking about how the Ukraine conflict became a turning point for cryptocurrency. It says here the supposedly borderless form of money has collided with the reality of international sanctions spurred by a major European conflict. And it says many major cryptocurrency exchanges put forth defiant statements this week when Ukraine asked them to freeze any accounts belonging to Russians. Now, CZ from Binance talked about this in his recent blog post that I just kind of referenced in that other article. He basically said he was not going to do that. It's not in his power. He should not have that kind of authority, that a government should be making those decisions and not somebody like himself. And he also went on to say, what about the people in Russia who use Binance, who don't necessarily want this war to be happening? They don't necessarily want to be in this predicament, but the leader of their country is doing so. Should you harm those people who want to invest in crypto just because they're part of the country where the leader is doing this? And I think that's a good argument. You're basically harming people from diversifying their wealth in Russia just because they're in Russia. There are a lot of people who are protesting the war. I've seen some videos going viral about that. Basically, if you're doing that, you're going to, pay the price. But people are still brave enough in Russia right now to push back against what's happening. And I think CZ's point when it comes to crypto, why would you shut that water off to all of those people when the Russian economy is crippled right now and continuing to be, decimated day after day? People have an avenue, and that's cryptocurrency. If you shut that water off, and a lot of people use Binance there too, that's really not a solution to the problem. So more quietly, however, many were complying with the sanctions plan aimed at devastating the Russian economy. Now, the gap between the words and actions of crypto's biggest players points to the challenges that the crypto community now faces as a mainstream industry in the midst of a geopolitical and humanitarian crisis, one that now looks like a defining moment for cryptos such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. And speaking of those two, we'll just take a look at their price points real quick. Bitcoin right now slightly above 39,000, Ethereum over 2,600 at the time of this recording. And pretty much everything has been relatively flat here in the wee hours of the morning up till 9:24 Eastern right now. So if we bounce back over here, it says digital coins have lived up to their reputation, especially in Ukraine and Russia, moving money across international borders as sympathizers with Ukrainians have caused let's see here with Ukrainian that's a typo. As sympathizers with the Ukrainians cause have raised the equivalent of more than 54 million through cryptocurrency donations. We just mentioned that there at the top. But on the Russian side, the supposedly borderless form of money has instead collided with the reality of international sanctions, spurred by a major European conflict, and also the moral question of whether participants in the crypto markets could unwittingly help fuel a war of aggression or help Russian oligarchs preserve their wealth. But here's the point. Not only are there Russian oligarchs trying to preserve their wealth, but there are also Russian citizens trying to build their wealth, right? That's what they're not talking about here in the article. What about the Russian citizens who are trying to store any wealth they may have as their economy is being decimated, right? So it's not only about the Russian oligarchs. Sure, they're going to be able to use cryptocurrency to store their wealth, but what about all the citizens who necessarily don't necessarily have a ton of money, but they're trying to keep what they have while their economy is being crippled? So in between here, cryptocurrency exchanges and Bitcoin hardliners, both of whom have espoused what they say is the libertarian ethos, which has always been embedded in crypto. It's always been a libertarian movement, cryptocurrency, because of, essentially just freedom, right? Freedom to build your wealth however you see fit, to utilize money how you see fit. It's always been built on a libertarian perspective, have had to wrestle with tough questions about just how much they want to embrace a technology that critics argue has little practical value aside from money laundering and investment hedging, while requiring huge amounts of electricity and burning fossil fuels. Now, here's the thing. These are the two big arguments you hear about cryptocurrency all the time, and I could poke holes in both of these. Okay, so number one, I've already talked a little bit about money laundering and investment hedging. Money laundering, it's just not a good argument. Okay, cash is way more untraceable than anything stored on the blockchain. Any move you and I make in cryptocurrency, it's documented. If I go hand somebody $20 on the street right now outside, is anybody documenting that? No, that's untraceable. So there's that argument. I could poke a hole in that. The second one is huge amounts of electricity and burning of fossil fuels. Okay, that is a fair point. There is the Bitcoin mining argument, especially because it's proof of work, but many cryptocurrencies are moving away from proof of work to proof of stake, right? Which will not have the negative impact on the environment. So they're already making steps in the right direction. Look at Ethereum 2.0, right? And here's the other thing, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, especially people who are serious environmentalists, but to make the argument that Bitcoin is like this huge deal to the environment when countries are just polluting the air and water like there's no tomorrow. So I mean, yes, it's a factor, but if you look at it holistically, it's a blip. It's a blip when it comes to what we're doing in terms of burning fossil fuels and being bad for our environment. Sure, it's an issue, but it's nowhere near some of the other things that we could tackle well before talking about Bitcoin mining. Okay, it's just something that people lean on, especially if they're negative proponents of cryptocurrency. So we can go on here. This is CEO of Mazari, a crypto research and data firm. Interesting perspective here. There is a libertarian strand that runs through cryptocurrency, but I think the pushback many people in crypto have is against dragnet surveillance and extrajudicial seizures, which basically means regulation, right? Now, crypto in recent years moved from fringe technology to the kind of mainstream industry that pushes multiple Super Bowl ads from companies backed with hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. Hence what we saw from Coinbase and Crypto.com this past Super Bowl. The underlying blockchain technology, though, relies on distributed computing power to create public and unbreakable digital ledgers that can track who owns what without a central authority. So you'll hear people all the time like, oh, it's just for bad acting and there's no way to know what's going on. No, it's actually the exact opposite. They are tracking every step of the way with the blockchain and these unbreakable ledgers. So that's why the central authority is not needed, because the people have access to what's going on in the blockchain. It's public, right? All right, so one question now is how much of crypto's anti-authority streak is still a reality and how much is carefully chosen marketing slogans. At the start of the sanctions against Russia, one of the most strident statements came from Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange. A Binance spokesperson told CNBC on Monday limiting Russians' access to crypto would fly in the face of the reason why crypto exists. I think this is it right here. The reason why crypto exists is everybody has access to it. Everybody. Regardless of if you're a bad actor or not. And again, I think the bad actor, narrative gets played out more than it should. There's more good going on with crypto than bad. Okay. And it's like anything, I think, in our news cycle, right? They always focus on the negative, right? Always. It's called the hostile media effect. Always focus on the negative. What's the lead in the 11 o'clock news, right? It's not the feel-good story, right? It's the double homicide or what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. There's always a negative lead, right? What do they say? The negative news bleeds, or if it bleeds, it leads. There we go. But by Friday, Binance CEO Zhao was striking a different tone. And again, this is in that blog post that I just pulled up a little bit ago, saying in a 1,500 word blog post that the company applies the same sanctions rules as the banks, and noting the company's fundraising efforts as Binance donated $10 million for humanitarian needs. And, I read this entire blog post by CZ. Basically, he said, I don't want to have that power of, shutting down something, to a whole country. And here's the thing. Again, I want to make this point. There are a lot of people in Russia that are not Russian oligarchs who are citizens trying to preserve their wealth at a time where their entire economy is collapsing. Keep that in mind. So why won't Binance go one step further? This is Zhao. And sanction, freeze all Russian users' assets. The most important point, we don't think we have the authority to do so. Now, experts have said that Vladimir Putin won't be able to use virtual currency to evade sanctions on a large scale because even at $2 trillion, the crypto market just isn't big enough. And crypto exchanges have compliance departments dedicated to catching money laundering. And again, Russia's GDP is about 1.5 trillion. Global crypto market cap is 1.74 trillion. Just not big enough to have that much of an impact yet. Okay, yet. So let me go back here. And it says here, this is another interesting quote here from Timothy May, who wrote the Crypto Anarchist Manifesto in 1988, 2 decades before the introduction of Bitcoin made the idea a reality. Pretty interesting. He was a visionary for sure, saw the future of virtual currency, said, hold on one sec, we're getting a call coming in here. Sorry about that, everybody. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Had a call coming in via the laptop. So here's that quote. Various criminal and foreign elements will be active users of CryptoNet, but this will not halt the spread of crypto anarchy. So cryptocurrency linked crime hit a record last year, with illegal addresses receiving 14 billion in digital currencies, according to research from Chainalysis, although they represented 0.15% of total crypto transaction volume. So here's the thing. You can make a statistic say anything you want. Is crypto getting bigger each and every year? Are more people coming into the space? Yes. Will there be more bad actors because more people are coming into the space? Yes. So keep that in mind. Statistics are always skewed to say whatever people want them to say. So yes, illegal addresses are receiving more money in digital currencies every year, but the space is getting massively bigger every year as well, right? So it's you just got to be careful with looking into that too deeply. A battle of logistics, tracking the many moving parts in Ukraine, and we're not going to watch this video, but it's talking a little bit about what's going on there in terms of access points. This may a lot of this has to do with banks. This may be a moment for longtime crypto critics to achieve what they've wanted: stricter regulation of cryptocurrencies, which they see as an end run around traditional securities market regulation. Now, Senator Elizabeth Warren in the United States this week joined 3 other Democratic senators in sending a letter to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen seeking reassurance that Putin wouldn't be able to use digital coins to evade sanctions. Here's the quote. Cryptocurrency can allow financial criminals, drug dealers, and tax cheats to move money around in the shadows, potentially opening the door for Putin and his cronies to evade the economic sanctions that serve as the centerpiece of international response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. This is coming from Senator Warren. And again, nothing against Senator Warren here, but I think a lot of people in Congress are out of touch with cryptocurrency. It's not that easy as this quote is made out to be. Again, everything is tracked. Everything is tracked on the blockchain. Doesn't matter. So there you go. Financial regulators need to address this urgent threat to ensure that crypto doesn't undermine our national security, she went on to say. But the criticism of crypto has also come from Republicans, adding possible bipartisan momentum to the push for regulation. Here's one from Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina, says cryptocurrency is rearing its ugly head here, said this week after a classified briefing on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. He also said he was worried about Russians using virtual currency to evade sanctions. Again, probably overstated a little bit here and how they could actually make this work. And again, you heard from the experts, people from Binance and Coinbase, the CEOs over there, what they believe about sanctions. They don't believe it's possible. Yet people in Congress are utilizing this as, oh my gosh, we have to do something because Russia's going to use crypto to evade sanctions, right? So it's an interesting point. That's why I wanted to do this live stream, because there's a lot going on with cryptocurrency as it relates to what's going on in Ukraine. And just want to say, I just want to make sure this is clear. Obviously crypto is a small piece of this, but there are people, losing their loved ones and losing their homes each and every day. So that's a bigger deal, a much bigger deal. And we pray and keep all those people in Ukraine in our thoughts and prayers. What's going on over there is absolutely insane. It's devastating. And, hopefully it gets better before it gets worse. But now, in defending cryptocurrency, its advocates have emphasized the plight of everyday Russians who had no say in Putin's decision to send troops into Ukraine. Exactly. What about the people who are honestly hanging on to everything they've got and they want to diversify into Bitcoin because their economy is crumbling? There's no talk about that. There's only talk about Russian oligarchs from the political elites, which they're out of touch, in my opinion. If you're a middle-class Russian right now and your entire financial system has been seized and blocked, is it legitimate for you to be able to put 100 or 1,000 of your savings into Bitcoin, into a crypto hard wallet that you could take with you if you're leaving the country? Many people are leaving Russia right now. into Poland and other neighboring countries because they don't agree with what's going on. Wouldn't it be great for them to store whatever wealth they do have into Bitcoin and flee? Yes. You could take this with you if you're leaving the country with the clothes on your back. That is something that should be celebrated. This is Selkis. I'm not sure who this person is. Who is this person? Selkis. Jerome Powell. Okay. Can't even find out who this is or what they, but it is somebody who's against in terms of Russian oligarchs. So it says here, it's not clear how many Russians are in this situation, but it's certainly a minority. Russian ranked 18th out of 154 countries last year on grassroots adoption of cryptocurrency. And a more recent report showed Russians have not been flocking to crypto in recent weeks. But what if they were able to, right? Worldwide, retail investors in crypto are increasingly being overshadowed by hedge funds and other institutional firms. The overall effect of Russia-Ukraine conflict may be to separate crypto myth from reality, something that's been happening already in the past couple years. Meanwhile, U.S. authorities have partially unraveled the often repeated crypto mantra that digital coins are unconfiscatable. What a word. Seizing $3.6 billion in Bitcoin in one confiscation last month. Agents in that case used a search warrant to obtain access to an online account where one of the alleged thieves kept the private keys required to access his digital wallet. But for Russians who might want to obtain such a device now, even that has become more difficult, getting a hard wallet or cold wallet. We are not delivering into Russia. This was a spokesperson from Satoshi Labs, which says it has sold more than 1 million of its Treasure crypto wallet. She said the company halted shipments immediately after the imposition of sanctions. And then this last point, I think this is a good one. By the way, Satoshi Labs, based out of the Czech Republic, which isn't far from Russia, just a few European countries away, said they had sympathy for Ukraine, continues to run high. In 1968, the Soviet Union invaded the country known as Czechoslovakia. Now, it says here, Bitcoin is very apolitical, she said. I would like to imagine that Bitcoin is a solution for different situations and that it will stay that way. But she said some company employees have connections to the conflict that make it personal. We are touched by the situation in Ukraine. So I just thought there was an interesting perspective to talk about crypto as it relates to these macroeconomic factors here this morning, and a good way to start the week and to keep these in the forefront, because we look at this crypto market, right? And it's just been so wacky, so up and down, so just fluctuating so much. And just think of what's transpired though over the past couple of years and where we're at. I mean, obviously crypto rallied when the pandemic started. I think a lot of people started storing their wealth there. People had some extra money to spend early on because they were getting stimulus checks. They weren't traveling as much and they had more time on their hands. They were talking about cryptocurrency. They were YouTubing things. They were Googling things. They were trying to learn how to better their situation, right? And everybody was at home, basically. Makes sense. As time moved on, the real impact of what transpired starts to hit home for people, and people don't have the extra funds anymore. They don't have the stimulus checks coming. Inflation is running rampant. Gas prices are sky high. Are people, able to put that money away like they once did? No. A lot of people are saving what they have. Hence why cryptocurrency and the broader markets are down, in my opinion. There's just not a lot of retail money, in my opinion. I think you've got institutional money that has been there and will always be there, shuffling in and out, manipulating the markets. And we just don't have a lot of new people coming into crypto right now. Now, inflation has gotten worse and worse. And then you tack on the ongoing conversations about crypto regulation from a global perspective. Many countries are discussing it, the United States being one of them. That's creating some fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And then you've got a war going on. Okay. So if you just sit back and really understand what's going on in our world, it's easy to see why crypto has been so wonky. Now, again, we're playing the long game here. Okay. I don't really get concerned too much about the day to day. And even if it's a bad few months, that's okay. I really just, look at this as really a bigger opportunity. I look at this as a bigger opportunity to acquire the cryptocurrencies that you want to hold for the long term. Now, even with the markets being down, there are still opportunities for day trades and swing trades. We see it all the time. So there are still those opportunities out there that present themselves each and every day, each and every day. But here's the thing. I just wanted to bring in this perspective around Russia, around Ukraine and crypto sanctions and regulations. I thought it was a good conversation to have to start the week. There's really no end in sight when it comes to inflation right now, when it comes to the ongoing war. In terms of positive catalysts that could turn this thing around, maybe a spot ETF, a Bitcoin ETF. But really, I think we're going to be riding this choppy market for a while. So that's how I'm starting to think about it. That's how I'm starting to play it out in my head. I'm starting to think we're going to be here for a while because these lasting effects of inflation aren't going away anytime soon. I don't think, as much as I want the war to end in Ukraine, I don't see that happening right now. And I wish I could come on here and say everything's going to the moon and we're all good and dandy. But right now, it's just not the case. However, this is still a huge opportunity because the times that you want to acquire cryptocurrencies are in those times of crypto winters or whatever you want to call it, bear market. Are we going to head for a crypto winter? I don't know. Nobody knows. People think they do, or they say that. Nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball. Will there be another crypto winter? Are we getting out of 4-year cycles? I tend to believe we are. But nobody really knows in the end. Here's what we do know. Cryptocurrency is still at its infancy stages. There are a lot of things happening in our world that are negatively impacting the broader markets, both crypto and stocks and real estate for that matter, right? We do know those things. We do know over time those things get better when inflation gets better, when there are no wars, when the economy is better, right? So if you're playing the long game here, these are opportunities. When you see Bitcoin dive down to 33,000 or 34,000 and Ethereum down to 2,300, and whatever other asset out there that you're bullish on long term, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. And I know it's kind of like reverse psychology because you see everything going down, everything's going down, and I got to save with save what little I got here because I'm losing everything. That's why you only invest what you're willing to lose in the first place, and you won't think like that. And also, you've got to play the long game here. It's not a get rich quick scheme. I mean, sure, there's opportunities out there to swing trade and make money quick, but if you're really looking to invest and not just gamble, if you're really looking to invest, these blue chip assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Crowcoin for me, it's the long game. It's playing the long game. So that's what I've got for you here this morning. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I got to run, but I'll have more content out later this afternoon. Let me know your thoughts about all of this down below in the comment section. And let's see here. I'm going to go through a couple chats real quick. Not a lot of chats coming through, actually, huh? All right, that's cool. Boca's in here. What's up, Boca? And we got Muzz in here. Good morning, brother. All right, that's it, guys. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these live streams in the morning, okay? Here's my plan. I'm planning on doing these every morning, about a half hour, though. I want to keep it to like 9 to 9:30. That's my plan. Something different every day. Talk about what's going on in the markets. And so hopefully you stop back with us in the next one. So, all right, thanks, everybody. I will see you in the next video.